What's up, guys? Jason here, back to my channel. And tonight we'll be doing a review for AEW AEW Saturday Collision. So let's go ahead and get to it then. And I'm not gonna tell you who the surprise was because it was very shocking. Sorry, kind of ate something and I was getting a sandwich before I made this video. So here we go. All right, Adam Copeland pops out and has a ton of energy as he makes his way down to the ring for his scheduled Cope Open challenge of his newly won TNT Championship. The Radar Superstar sells in the ring and gets on the mic and declares this Copeland country. Copeland says, unlike the Patriarch, he's not going to run and hide. He's going to be a fighting champion. He wants to know who is going to step up this week after a slight delay. The theme for Matt Cardona hits, and out comes the wrestling star. You know who he is, Zack Ryder, who was in WWE. Yeah. The crowd goes nuts as the indie god makes his way to the ring to answer the co-open challenge from the TNT champ. He sells in the ring and chants break out from the Canadian crowd. The bell sounds and I remember this one. After the two soak up the moment and the commentators talk about their storied history together, we see the two tie up in the middle of the ring. Next is a shoulder tackle by Copeland, who then hip tosses on Cardona. Back up shoulder takedown by Cardona into a drop kick to Cardona by Copeland. Another tie up again in the ring, stomps to Copeland in the corner. Cardona sends Adam into the pose, who slides out, and Matt chases him, but is met with a short clothesline after a couple of follow-up spots on the floor at ringside. We shift gears and head into a mid-match commercial break as this match continues. When we return from the break after some more hard-hitting back and forth action from both guys, we work our way to the finish, which sees Cardona nearly get the win multiple times, only for Copeland to hit a spear and follow up to get the pinfall victory to retain his TNT title in an excellent opener. So winner and still TNT champion Adam Copeland. Alright, once the match wraps up, the crowd gives Copeland an enormous ovation for the hard fought victory. Copeland celebrates retaining his title as his iconic theme plays, and then out of nowhere, the music stops and the lights go out. When the lights come back on, Malachi Black appears in the ring and with black crap drilling out of his mouth. Buddy Matthews attacks Copeland from behind. Mark Briscoe runs out to make the save but gets beat down by the House of Black duo for his troubles. Eddie Kingston ends up running down after that, and this stops them. The five men stare each other down, and then the lights go out again. When they come back on, this time Black and Matthews are gone. Alright, we have a segment coming on with Tony Schiavone interviews Daddy Ass being Gunn and the Acclaimed. After a quick word from FTR backstage ahead of their AEW World Tag Team Championship tournament bout later tonight on the show, Tony Schiavone heads to the ring and introduces his guests as at this time Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. Out he comes with the Acclaimed duo of Matt Caster and Anthony Bowens. Gunn says he's pissed off at Jay White for invading his house. He announces next week it will be Jay White versus Billy Gunn, and then we'll see how good he really is. Max Caster gets on the mic with Schiavone next and calls out the Ass Boys, Colton and Austin Gunn. He says if they believe in White, they'll stay in the back. They assure them they will stay in the back too. It leads things up to White and Gunn to settle their issues in the ring without interference. After this wraps up, we head to another commercial break. Alright, next match is AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinals. FTR versus the Infantry. When we return from the break, we immediately hear the Midnight Express sounding theme for the decorated tag team duo of FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler make their way out and head to the ring. Loud chants of FTR, FTR from the crowd attendance. Their music dies down, and now the theme for their opponents hits. Now comes the infantry team of Captain Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. They settle in the ring as well, and their music dies down. The bell sounds are official offering with this turning quarter final bout. Kicking things off for their respective teams as our Wheeler and Dean they lock up and go toe to toe, hold for hold, with neither man gaining any real upper hand early on. Bravo tags in as does Harwood, double Russian leg sweep on Sean Dean, uh, then stomps on Dean. Um, Wheeler puts Dean on shoulder, then tags in Dax and goes for a double move, but Dean escapes. Dax sends Dean into ring wall chop to Bravo on the outside over launch dive onto FTR block, and then Dean flies over the top crossbody by Dean for a 2 count. Double leg takedown cradle roll up by Dean on Dax for a 2 count. Dax with an uppercut sends Bravo to outside powerbomb on Dean. Then Fisherman suplex on Dean for a 2 count. Double team by FTR, blocked by Spear from Dean, and then a roll up for a 2 count suplex on Wheeler. Bravo blocks move, then leave frog on Dean for a 2 count. Dax runs at Bravo but ducks and Wheeler hits Dax shattered machine for the win. So winners and advancing in AEW Tag Team Title Tournament FTR. Alright, next match is Kyle O'Reilly versus JD Drake. We head backstage for a quick word with Ricky Starks and Big Bill Lexi Nair as them ask them about their return to the ring tonight for a big tournament quarterfinal bout against Top Flight. They vow to be the duo to advance back to the titles that they once held. After this, we head to another commercial break. When we return, we see a fired up Adam Copeland, Mark Briscoe, and Eddie Kingston backstage. A challenge is issued to the House of Black for AEW Dynasty Transit 24. Back inside the arena, Kyle O'Reilly theme hits, and out he comes to the ring for our next match of the evening. Already inside the square circle is his opponent for tonight, JD Drake. The bell sounds, and literally 2 minutes later, it sounds again with O'Reilly picking up an easy win. Undisputed Kingdom comes out to celebrate with him. So the winner is Kyle O'Reilly. Alright, next match is AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinals. Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Top Flight. An elaborate video package airs to promote the Battle of Wills showdown between Will Ospreay and Powerhouse for next week's episode of AEW Dynamite. With that wraps up, we return live inside the Budweiser Gardens for our second of two AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament quarterfinal bouts. The former title holding duo Ricky Starks and Big Bill made their way out to Starks' premiere theme music for their long-awaited return to the ring. Starks, in particular, gets a good reception coming out. They settle into the ring and the music dies down. The theme for Top Flight plays, and out comes Darius and Dante Martin. Darius Martin and Ricky Starks kick things off for their respective teams as the bell sounds to get this high-stakes tag team tilt officially off and running. After some early back and forth action, which sees both Martin guys hit some high spots, we shift gears and head to a mid-match commercial break with Big Bill in control of the action. When return, Big Bill is still dominating things until fully Darius Martin starts to fire up for his team, which leads to Darius taking out Starks, and then after several tries, even knocking Bill off of his feet and eventually out to the floor. Top Flight hits a wild double team spot on Starks for a pin that really seemed odd, like it wasn't supposed to happen. The theme for Starks plays after the bell sounds and immediately cuts off commentator Strutter and eventually support Top Flight's victory as we see officials running to check on Starks, who hasn't gotten up yet. So winners and advancing in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament, Top Flight. Alright, next match is Thunder Rosa versus Lady Frost. After the odd ending to the second turning bout of the evening, we shoot backstage where Christopher Daniels issues a challenge for a match on next week's AEW Rampage against Malachi Black of the House of Black. After that, we head to another commercial break. When we return from the break, we see Thunder Rosa making her way out and heading into the ring for our next match of the evening. As she settles in the ring, we see highlights of her recent issues with Deonna Purrazzo in their tag team match last week. Coming out next is Lady Frost. The bell sounds. Are fresh off running with this one. Sorry. Rosa gets off to a good start as the commentators talk about her actually losing her AEW Women's Championship in the ring, but having to give it back due to injury before taking an extended hiatus. As Rosa continues to control the action, we shift gears and head to a mid-match commercial break. The match continues. When we return from the advertising timeout, we see Frost start to fight into super competitive form, giving the former champion all she can handle. As we get deep into this one, Rosa pulls the win off out of nowhere after where it is announced that Rosa will be taking on Mariah May next week to determine the next challenger for AEW Women's World Champion Thomas Tony Storm. Backstage, Renee Paquette talks to Storm about the announcement and at first acts betrayed by her, but then kisses her and says she's a genius. Winner is Thunder Rosa. Alright, main event is Brian Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, Kazuri Shibata versus Lance Archer and The Righteous. Alright, main event time, but first we see a video package for Will Ospreay versus Brian Danielson at AEW Dynasty 2024, and then here an insanely loud updated list of matches and segments scheduled for AEW Dynasty 2024, as well as next week's AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, and W Rampage. After that, we head to another commercial break. As we settle back in from the break, we hear familiar sounds of the entrance theme of Brian Danielson, and out comes the American Dragon for our main event of the evening. Claudio Castagnoli comes out next from the Blackpool Combat Club, followed by Japanese legend Kazuri Shibata. Out next are their opponents, the Murderhawk Monster Lance Archer and the Righteous duo of Dutch and Vincent. The bell sounds are officially off running with this one. Kicking things off for the respective teams and are Archer and Shibata. The two trade stiff forearm shots back and forth and then start to pick up. We see Castagnoli tagging as does Dutch. Dutch out muscles Castagnoli early on, but then Swiss Superman starts to take over. Brian Danielson tags in, and the crowd erupts as American Dragon helps pick up in the headline. In this headline, trails about. He hits dives from the ring to the floor as the other guys get the bout brawl as well. With that now, we shift gears and head to a mid-match commercial break. When we return, as our final bout of the evening continues, when we return from the break, we see the match still in progress. Both team trade turns in the offensively. Castagnoli lights the crowd on fire but gets stopped. He eventually gets on the massive Lance on Lance Archer for another big pop. Transitions from that spot into a sharpshooter. The ref takes a close look, but then Dutch hits the ring to break it. Vincent hits Orange Sunshine, but Shibata hits the ring to help out his BCC teammates. Archer big boots Shibata out of the equation and grabs Castagnoli for his finisher, but Castagnoli avoids it. He runs into a big boot, and this time Archer hits his finisher. Vincent hits Death from Above of the top for the closest near fall of the match, but Castagnoli kicks out. He slaps a guillotine on Castagnoli, who suplexes his way out of it. Shibata hits a big running knee and then connects with his finisher on Vincent for the pinfall victory in an excellent main event. So yeah, that's how I show it. So winners are Brian Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Kazuri Shibata. So yeah, it was a good show tonight and stuff. And man, I didn't expect Matt Cardona to, come out and stuff. So that was pretty surprising. All that stuff. So yeah, it was a pretty good match, and I enjoyed it, and yeah, pretty badass. You know, a little more better than WWE, what WWE does, and all that stuff. But yeah. So, anyways, that was it for this video. Hope you enjoy it. If not, like or whatever, I don't care. So like, subscribe, favorite, and all that stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.